You want healthy, glowing skin, but with all the products, trends, and conflicting advice, it's hard to know what actually works. I understand. I am Dr. Tina Meder, a former cardiologist and specialist in the skincare development and cosmetic safety expert. I've spent years studying the science of skin. Welcome to Meder Beauty podcast, where we uncover what really matters, break down the science, and give you real expert-backed skincare advice. Whether you're looking to achieve radiant, healthy skin, curious about anti-aging, or want to understand what's really in your product, you are in the right place. Rooted in science and the truth about what your skin actually needs, we'll have in-depth conversations with leading dermatologists, medical experts, and skincare brand founders to bring you the latest innovations, evidence-based insights, and industry secrets that truly make a difference. We are so happy you are here. So let's go. Hello, Sarah. Thank you so much for coming. You're my only and favorite guest, so technically, you are co-hosting this podcast. Thank you so much.
No pressure. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure, truly.
So once again, we are in a conversation about the skin with licensed medical aesthetician from Miami, Sarah Drew, and me, Dr. Tina Meder. And today we decided that's a great time to discuss the sun protection because summer is coming in our hemisphere.
Summer's coming, and is it coming faster? Is that possible? I feel like it's getting way hotter way sooner.
Actually, it's probably the part of the climate change, which is a real thing, right?
And I would imagine for you as a dermatologist, it's interesting because for me as a woman, I experience the sun differently now in my 30s than I did when I was a youth. I didn't wear sun protection near as much as I should have, to the point where now I'm even experiencing things like sun rashes or allergic reactions to the sun. Like when we talk about how to prepare ourselves for the summer, I think it's important to talk about what we may be experiencing that we're, in quote, preparing ourselves for.
Yeah, and probably what we experience in different ages. And also women, they are always under this kind of pressure because you should care about yourself. But at the same time, you're supposed to care about your family.
Right.
At least about your children. And that's a part of the conversation about the sun protection.
Of course. For sun protection and its importance, we know that. But there's also this conversation about which type of sun protection to wear, whether or not we should even be wearing it at all, what times of the day that we should be wearing it. When it comes to your advice to your clients when you were seeing them, what were you typically seeing? Were there maybe skin conditions caused by the sun? Was it allergic reactions, rashes, pigmentation? We, of course, know that pigmentation is a huge sign of exposure to the sun.
Yeah, it's all part of the problem. And when I practiced in the south of France, so it's very much similar to Miami, except for humidity.
Okay.
But also the summer starts about the same time.
Okay.
In May, it's hot, it's sunny, ultraviolet is quite intense. So you start to meet the first patients suffering from different kind of consequences.
Yes.
For being exposed to the ultraviolet. And especially when people come for the holiday, sometimes they're just careless. And it's understandable because you bought this ticket, you dreamed about these holidays, so you won't get 100% of experience. Yeah. And 100% of experience in Miami means?
Absolutely. Outside all day.
Yeah, outside all day.
To 5 p.m. You're on the boat. You're outside on the beach. You're laying out at the pool. Yes.
And you are experiencing all this intense ultraviolet. It comes with a price. So different people react to the different way, and what dermatologists see in their clinics during the summertime. First, it is a category of patients who are very vulnerable and who should not be exposed to the sun at all.
Okay.
They're first and foremost people with rosacea.
Okay.
Because they have this genetical deficiency, or we can say even genetic mutation, which makes their skin less protected against the ultraviolet, because their antioxidant protection is just far from being ideal.
Sure.
And so they react by the inflammation, their skin condition is worsening, and rosacea can manifest or it can worsen after any exposure to the ultraviolet.
Okay.
After the people with an acne, and that's a kind of common myth then if you have acne, you should tan, you should get your portion of the ultraviolet. And sometimes it helps people to get the skin in the better condition. But once again, comes with a price. Why it can improve the skin condition in some acne patients?
I'm interested.
Ultraviolet is disinfecting.
Okay, of course.
Actually,
yes, we know this.
The noses.
Devices, kills
bacteria, viruses, fungi. So literally kills the microbiome. But in acne, your microbiome is pathologically changed.
Absolutely.
So especially young people, when this part of the microbiome is cleaned off, the new microbiome, which resists and which can regrow, recolonize on the skin, can be healthier.
Okay.
So they see some improvement.
Okay.
Also, the ultraviolet regulates the sebum production. So at some point, the sebum production can be reduced. That's why we see this skin dryness after the ultraviolet exposure. But if your skin is excessively oily, it can lead to improvement. Unfortunately, all the time it is temporarily, because also ultraviolet is pro-inflammatory. It triggers the inflammation. So most of the acne patients, even if they have some improvements for a few days or a couple of weeks, after it worsens and it leads to the pigmentation. Also, we see people with dermatosis and their condition can be worsened as well. Sometimes they are more photosensitive. So people with eczema, atopic dermatitis, psoriasis, sometimes they feel some improvement, but most of them also pay this price in the very near future. And people who comes with some pigmentation spots.
Absolutely. Your melasma patients, your just naturally uneven skin tone patients, people with even freckles, people who scar.
A lot of them. And especially people who experienced the pigmentation before. And even if you've been treated successfully this winter.
Yes, exactly.
It can come back. It happens all the time.
It's interesting because in my first role in the industry, at least professionally as a medical esthetician, right, I'm working with a lot of devices. And I just started to question what we were doing and why we were doing it. Because if you come to me in the winter, I get rid of your freckles. You go out in the summer, we come back and we do the same dance. It's the same scenario. There are several things. So obviously someone with rosacea, someone with sensitive skin, maybe even acne, you're saying limit your sun exposure. To some degree, it's hard to hear for most people because going into the sun is one of their favorite parts of the day. It's what they enjoy. You have a lot of people who maybe don't get to enjoy summer until it finally comes. But what you're saying essentially is, at least if you are going to enjoy your time in the sun, do it during the right time of the day, I would imagine is what you're going to lead them to understand, whether it's early morning or when the sun is setting. Is that safe enough for someone who, say, has rosacea and wants to enjoy the sun?
First of all, I want to say to everybody that it is perfectly normal to enjoy the sun. Now, sometimes I feel like it's kind of pathology. You shouldn't like the sun. You shouldn't like the summer. But we are designed to love the sun.
100%. Their circadian rhythm exists for a reason, right?
And also we are biochemically designed for it because the ultraviolet rays, they activate the synthesis of the vitamin D in our skin. It is essential vitamin. In the same time, it activates the synthesis of endorphins, hormones of happiness. That's why you feel better, why you feel happier when you see the sun. But it's very important to control it, and you feel happy. It's midday sun, but midday sun will damage your skin because it's much more intense. So the first thing to know about the sun protection, before you start to pick up your sunscreen or think about skincare, you should be very situational. So first thing to check is how intense the ultraviolet in your area is. And
you do that by like your weather app, you check
in weather app.
This is what you're,
That's the first thing to do in the morning. When you are planning to go out, please check your weather app. If your ultraviolet index is higher than 3, you definitely need the sun protection. If it is higher than 6, it is intense. If you are in Miami in May, it will be 10. Because
I was like, it gets down to 3?
Actually, fun fact about it. In London, when I lived in the last 10 years, there are about 3 to 5 days during the year when the index of the ultraviolet is equal to 6.
Oh, wow.
It's almost never going higher than 7.
Wow.
So 10, it's absolutely unimaginable. And
Gosh, I can imagine.
in Florida,
Yes.
10 and where you start.
Yes, exactly. I'm like,
May,
it's a normal day.
11 a.m., it's 10 already.
It's
And it will be higher in June, it will be higher in
Yes,
July and in
yes,
August. So
yes.
you should use different strategy.
Yes.
So it's not one fits all rule.
Sure.
When the ultraviolet is very intense, yes, sunscreen will be probably sufficient protection for you when the index of the ultraviolet is 4 or 5. You can count on it. But when it is 10
Right.
or 11, don't get this illusion.
Yes.
Sunscreen will be the part of protection, but
Yes.
anyway, you should very much control your presence and the ultraviolet exposure. So
Absolutely.
morning sun is better than the day sun.
Okay.
And another interesting myth about it, then some people, they put this equality between morning sun and the evening sun. And by the intensity of the ultraviolet, it is the same. But fun fact, our body reacts differently to the ultraviolet
I can imagine.
during the morning
Yes.
and during the evening time.
Yes. Yes.
And for our body, evening sun is more dangerous.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
So you
Is
can
that
be
because of the stress that we've dealt with throughout the day? So just naturally we are able to defend ourselves the same way?
actually not.
No?
It doesn't depend on the stress. It's just circadian regulation.
Wow.
Because our circadian skin protection
Yes.
naturally is much higher in the morning.
That's incredible.
And after 2 p.m. and
Yeah.
especially after 4 p.m., it's
Yeah.
starting to lowering down.
Okay.
And it's significantly
Okay.
decreased about 6 p.m. because
Yes.
our body prepares for the nighttime.
Yes.
And nighttime, it is a regeneration. Our skin become more permeable, less protected. We have less lipids because we spend lipids
Yes.
during the day. They've been
Yes.
oxidized. And new portion of lipids, our body will produce about midnight. Same about antioxidants. It will be produced during the night.
Yes.
So it's
Yes, this makes sense.
so at 5 p.m., the intensity of the ultraviolet can be the same as an intensity of ultraviolet in the 9 a.m. But at 9 a.m., your skin is well protected and ready for exposure. And in 5 p.m., it is not.
Okay. Okay. So for those clients who I know are going on that sunset cruise, that sunset experience or excursion,
Still need to use sun protection.
I guess our recommendation is like double up almost on the antioxidants. Your poor body is going to be at a deficit when you go out versus if you're going to do it during the day. That's very interesting to
The
learn.
most important is to refresh your sun protection, to refresh you, to apply the new portion of skincare.
Yes.
If you're planning to go to the sunset cruise.
I think during the summer, this is good when we're talking about reapplication. This is the time. At least if our clients are going to reapply, they're very mindful of it during the summertime, I would say.
Yeah.
But when it comes to even reapplying, there's a method to that, I would imagine, right? Can you just continue to reapply sunscreen on dirty skin and get the same impact?
Or should not be sandwiching. Please don't do it. I know it's a trend now
Yes,
on TikTok and
yes.
Instagram. I've seen it and I was like, oh my God, why they do it? And they're like, sandwich your sun protection.
Yes.
Just reapply the new layer and the new layer.
Apply it
Guys,
even over top of makeup. This is a recommendation that people are being given.
Cannot believe
If
it.
you could see her
It's just
face.
unbelievable. Just please don't do it.
Sure.
Please be careful.
Sure.
So layering, it's not an option. You should clean your skin.
Yeah.
Just wash it off.
Yeah.
Why we should renew sunscreen?
Yeah.
Not because it disappeared or evaporate from your
Sure.
skin. It didn't happen.
Sure.
Sunscreen is oxidizing
Yes.
on your skin because what's the role of sunscreen? Sunscreen is oxidizing instead of your skin lipids.
Yes.
So it just takes the first line of protection.
Absolutely.
And in a couple of hours, most of the sunscreens, they are oxidized enough to become the danger themselves.
I was just going to say, and at that point, if you're reapplying, you're literally
Yeah.
applying free radicals into your skin.
Yeah, you try to absorb them more and more efficiently.
Wow.
So the
Yeah.
first thing, even if you don't reapply sunscreen, for example, you're coming back to your hotel room
Sure.
or indoors or whatever, going for
Exactly.
the lunch,
Exactly.
you still should wash it off
Okay.
your skin, even
Okay.
if you don't reapply sunscreen immediately because you're staying indoor, you still need to reapply skincare.
Okay.
And there are few rules how you can make your sunscreen works better.
Exactly.
Because sunscreen in some conditions, sunscreen cannot be working at 100%.
Sure.
Also, what we should understand, then sunscreens are tested on the skin of the back of healthy volunteers,
Right.
90% of them men. If you're having 50 plus protection
Yes.
on the healthy back skin of
Yes.
30 years old man, it doesn't mean that it gives the same protection
Sure.
for the dry skin of the face of 60 years old women, because skin is different.
Absolutely.
This sunscreen, how we can make it work at maximum? First of all, we should prepare the skin, because sun protection is we are wearing the sun protection. It's kind of the coat.
Sure. Exactly.
Right? Protective coat, let's say it.
I would say it's a good name and a good measure because there's a whole outfit right underneath the coat.
Yeah.
This is what I'm thinking of as you say this. And no one just
Yeah,
says,
it will be strange to put coat on the naked body like, hello.
literally, you don't go outside thinking the only thing that matters to my outfit is my coat. Sometimes, and it works out fabulously.
And we don't like these people.
But to get the most out of your sun care, what goes underneath it, you're saying, is absolutely just as important. It makes it more effective.
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a good analogy. Thank you for that. Because you should wear lingerie.
Yes.
You should wear some clothes that's comfortable and clean. And only after that you wear the coat.
Yes.
So what we put before the coat on our skin?
Yeah.
First of all, you should clean it off. The skin should be clean. And the cleansing of the skin should be gentle.
Right.
It should be microbiome friendly.
Right.
It should be anti-inflammatory. It should be calming for the skin. So please don't use soap.
Sure.
Please don't use any kind of foaming gel because they are dissolving lipids. And we need these lipids during the sunny time of the day. We are using some gentle cleansing. After, the best way to prepare the skin is to apply antioxidant skincare.
Yes.
Because ultraviolet produce free radicals, and we need more of antioxidant to protect our skin.
Absolutely.
So, water-based, nice product, rich in antioxidant, like nice name it.
I wanted to ask favorite antioxidants. I think everyone knows the buzz of the antioxidant, the one we talk about the most. Vitamin C gets all of the rave, but your favorite antioxidants?
Vitamin C, it's not the best choice for being under the sunscreen because vitamin C is very unstable molecule.
Right.
So ultraviolet will destroy vitamin C immediately on your skin. So you should, antioxidants, there are dozens of them, maybe hundreds of them, and they're all different. For example, resveratrol, it's much better for the aged skin as an antioxidant because it has some antioxidant property.
Yes.
But niacinamide, it's a great antioxidant for sun protection because, first of all, it is stable. It is skin identical. It is an essential vitamin B3. And it controls the synthesis of melanin and melanocytes. So it is brightening ingredient at the same time, all in one.
Absolutely.
So look for some niacinamide-based products. And also plants-derived antioxidant will be good.
Yes.
Actually, aloe, which is famous like an after sun care. It is great before sun care.
Actually, absolutely. Yes. Okay.
So you can use green tea, aloe, caffeine. It's an amazing antioxidant for sun care. So there are a lot of them.
Absolutely.
And the next step, it is what I like to call sunscreen primer.
I love this idea. I love this term, especially because I think clients are looking for ways. They're always, my background is I used to be a makeup artist and then I decided I loved skin and loved skincare, but people are always wanting to layer. They wear tinted sunscreens now or they use tinted moisturizers as their makeup. So what is this idea of a sunscreen primer that you're saying? And this is for everyone. This is for people with dry skin, oily skin. Everyone could benefit from wearing this like water-based like primer underneath their sunscreen.
It's the same idea as in primer for the makeup because to be protective, sunscreen should be applied properly.
Yes.
And it is not easy to apply sunscreen properly.
Absolutely.
When we had a lot of experiments and I read a lot of research about how people apply sunscreen, first of all, 100% of people apply less than needed because you need to apply a lot.
Right. It seems like a lot. When you say to apply a teaspoon.
Yeah, 1 teaspoon on your face, it feels like a lot.
Yes, yes.
Too much. And actually people don't do it because it's uncomfortable. Fortunately, the new sunscreens formulation, modern sunscreens formulation, they have better stretching. So you can apply less, but still you should apply sunscreen on the full face, not only in the mid of your face. And when we control it and we tried it in our clinic in France, you ask people to apply sunscreen.
Yes.
And after you took this picture,
Yes.
in the diagnostic device, it's so funny.
Oh no, so many little spots I'm sure missing. Okay.
Yeah, that's why me personally, I love tinted sunscreen because at least you see what you do.
Exactly. Yes, absolutely.
And also everyone who used makeup know how difficult it can be to apply makeup properly.
Right.
When your skin is dry or too oily, when it is not prepared.
Exactly.
Better your skin condition is,
Yes.
better your skin texture,
Yes.
easier it will be to apply makeup. Same rule for sunscreen.
Of course. Okay.
So you should perfection your skin surface, therefore apply sunscreen. And that's why we need primer. Because primer is literally the protective moisturizer.
Yes.
And it helps to apply sunscreen evenly, get the better stretching, and also it creates this protective layer in between of sunscreen and the skin.
Yes.
So your lipids will be additionally protected. And even when it will oxidize on the skin, it will not impact your skin immediately.
This sounds like it's perfect for the client who feels as though the reason they don't wear sunscreen is because of the texture and the way it feels on their skin. Whether they feel as though it dries it out because maybe it's like a mineral, zinc oxide, titanium dioxide, so it just feels so drying on their skin.
And it can be uncomfortable. And actually, some filters, they can feel irritating.
Yes.
And when you apply it on the naked skin, especially immediately after washing, cleansing your skin, it can be highly uncomfortable, itching, and just create some tension. So you apply water-based antioxidant product, kind of antioxidant serum.
Sure.
And after you apply the lightweight, oil-free, gel-like moisturizer, our Dermafill, it is a perfect sunscreen primer, as well as makeup primer. Hyaluronic acid, prebiotics, and very Indian lightweight. Tamarind extract. So it's very natural and very lightweight.
And again, what we're talking about, ultimately we're fighting the inflammatory response of the sun, right? So the more that we can protect our skin, I would imagine both externally and internally, we would have a better experience. Our skin would age much slower, I would imagine.
Yeah, absolutely, because we protect the skin from all kind of damage, from free radicals damage, from the ultraviolet direct damage of cells, because we create these protective layers, sunscreen, but something else as well. And also we protect it from the transepidermal water loss, from the evaporation of the water, because when we apply the moisturizer, hyaluronic acid, it is a water magnet. So it will help your skin to hold water molecule on the surface. And well moisturized skin is better protected skin, and it helps also the microbiome. And about 50% of our natural skin protection.
I love the idea, and I love the way you're educating us to know that the body naturally functions as a way to protect itself, right?
Yes.
It's about us feeding and enhancing those natural functions, and also partnering now with the tools that we have, like SPF, like the serum, like the moisturizers. Like, your skincare and your approach to skin is so impactful, I think, for this reason, because it's enhancing our natural functions. I think it's amazing.
It's actually the whole idea that the human body is not unprotected.
Yes.
Really, it has a protection.
Yes.
Unfortunately, this protection, it's not enough in the modern world, especially for the skin exposed to air pollution, ultraviolet, and internally it's exposed to stress and a lot of kind of toxins and other factors. But skincare and sun care cannot replace natural protection. It should work in synergy. Not be antagonistic, because when I see when people use, for example, hydroxy acids during the summertime,
of course,
I understand the idea. They want to polish the skin.
Sure. They're sweating more, maybe they're just noticing even like a buildup on their skin. So they're like, the first thing I need to do is exfoliate.
And it's not really the empty idea, something behind it, just you should do it slightly differently. For example, fun fact, hydrodermabrasion, like Hydrojet, is much better. You can do it once a month during the summertime, and the surface will be even, it will be better, and also it's healthier for your skin.
Of course.
Despite it is mechanical, it's quite intense. It can work better. When you apply acids on your skin, in your daily skincare, you're going against your natural protection.
Absolutely.
And when you're going against the natural you'll never win. Mother
I think
Nature.
we've learned this enough times. So that gets into the next thing that I wanted to mention, things that we probably should avoid doing in order to protect these natural functions. I would say I notice in myself, my skin gets way more inflamed when I spend time drinking alcohol, say when it's the peak of the midday.
Nice observation.
Yes. Ask me if I'm getting better about it.
Do you?
I'm getting there. When you start to see your skin changing just from the simple task of drinking a beer versus drinking a glass of water, you prioritize your choices.
Yeah, and you understand that you don't love beer so much.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's not my friend. I'm going for more fermented kimchi over beer.
Oh my God. It's such a good choice.
Much better
So proud
habit,
of
right?
you.
So we're saying there are things that we should and shouldn't do when it comes to our exposure to the sun. Obviously, using acids, chemical peels. As professionals, we know this because we call the winter, those of us that operate them, the peel season. But you're encouraging clients to say avoiding even salicylic. Like I think of my acne patients who think to use my acne serum twice a day, every day, without realizing that their exposure to the sun is actually maybe counterintuitive, essentially.
There are a couple of directions you should follow avoiding some potentially dangerous things during the summertime. First area, it is the skincare itself, like you mentioned, acid. So peel season should stop at least 3-4 weeks before the index of ultraviolet will be constantly higher than 3-4.
Okay.
So speaking about, let's say, continental Europe, it will be beginning of the April, speaking about Florida. Sorry, no time for peel season.
We talk about this in Miami. They're sorry to interrupt this thought because I think we can all agree and understand, okay, once summer is coming, that's a great tip. 3 weeks prior to you noticing that the UV index is going to be consistently high, great. But we're in Miami. I have a client actually who actively gets treated with devices and of course was recommended hydroquinone. There are these periods of time when I would imagine we are doing our best to inhibit melanin from being produced, but it's hard to do. We live in a place where it's going to be consistently upper 70s
exposed
to 80 degrees. So how then, you mentioned niacinamide earlier is a great way to manage pigmentation. Other than me telling this client, she was told to put it in a small spot, put it only in the small spot that you're concerned with. I even hated that advice.
Actually, it's hydroquinone. It's banned in the European Union for reason because the mechanism of action of the hydroquinone is literally killing pigment cells.
Yes.
So no cells, no problem.
Yeah.
No cells, no pigment, no spots.
Yes.
But it leaves the area of your skin absolutely unprotected.
Yes.
Because melanin is a powerful antioxidant. It is a powerful protection of the skin. And
a natural function.
It's a natural function. We shouldn't eliminate it.
Yes.
It's the natural thing we should use.
Absolutely.
So everything which is really damaging pigment cells.
Yes.
It should not be used. I'm sorry. So hydroquinone, it was the gold standard of the pigmentation treatment because it's highly efficient.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it's highly dangerous.
Yes.
Especially for people with darker skin types.
And so for those darker skin types, then they come to me and they say, Sarah, hear you. I'm going to be good about my sun exposure. I'm not going to go out into the sun, yada, yada. However, my concern is my melasma. My concern is my freckles. I would like to get out of the habit of this repetition where we're treating my pigmentation in the winter and it's coming back in the summer. What are their alternatives that they can use to inhibit this production of melanin?
Tranexamic acid, cysteamine, new peptides, antioxidants such as niacinamide, resveratrol, plants-derived extract, one of the best for the summer pigmentation treatment. It's licorice.
Yes.
And it's
such
really
a classic,
good.
And it's existed and it hasn't gone away, licorice root.
Licorice and berberry.
Yeah.
So they are two plants gold standards. Probably we should do the whole episode about pigmentation.
I think so.
Too. Because it's a part of sun protection because people like to prevent the pigmentation from rebound and they'd like to protect their skin better during the summertime. So the golden rule in the skincare. First, avoid all photosensitizing ingredients. Such as acids, benzoyl peroxides. Yeah, I know it is very popular, but retinol is photo-exciting molecule. So any rays of ultraviolet on your skin, if you apply the retinol in the morning, forget about protection. You will be unprotected. And also everything which damage your skin barrier. So some kind of soap, harsh cleansers are not good.
The trend right now, I would imagine you have seen this trend of hypochlorous acid in sprays as easy.
Oh.
There are brands that you just spray it really quickly, like even use it as a spreading spray. As you speak, I even think of bug spray, essential oils.
That's a great question because essential oils, they can be a kind of nice bug repellent. For example,
Right.
cloves essential oil is
Yes.
famous for this. But in the same time,
Yes.
it is photosensitizing. So you should not use it during the daytime, but at night you should protect you from
Dr.
mosquito. There are some combined products
Yeah.
on the market
Yeah.
as sunscreen plus repellent. And it's understandable, especially in tropics,
Yes. Yeah.
when you have sun and you have bugs. And you are Indiana Jones. You should be
May
protected.
not be Indiana Jones, but I'm climbing a mountain
Yeah.
or two if I get the chance.
We discussed it with you previously
Yeah,
before
yeah.
the podcast and Googled it together.
Yeah.
And actually the scientific consensus about it
Yeah.
and the combination
Yeah.
of repellent with sunscreen, it's not a good idea.
It's so
And-
interesting.
Oncologists and dermatologists specializing in the cancer treatment,
Yes.
they strongly recommend to use separate product. Why? Because sunscreen makes repellent potentially more toxic
Yeah.
because dihydrotolamate, which is the active substance of most of repellent on the
Yeah,
market,
yeah.
can penetrate deeper in the
Yes,
skin
yes.
in a combination with the sunscreen. And in the same time, repellent makes sunscreen less efficient, up to 30% less of efficiency of sunscreen in a combination with repellent. Also, repellent should be reapplied on the skin not more often than once in 6 hours to avoid potential toxicity. And you should reapply sunscreen every 2 hours. So that's a conflict, right?
Yes.
So the best way to use them is to apply the sunscreen. And in this situation, we will recommend most neutral
Yeah.
and probably solid
Yeah.
physical filters based
Yes.
classic zinc sunscreens because it will be also the protection against the bugs
Got you.
because it will be just too difficult for them
Absolutely.
to get
That's
here.
good. That's a great tip then. At least
Yeah.
there is that person who needs to know then what are my options. So physical sunscreen is better.
And on the open part of your body,
Yes.
you can apply the repellent, but on the top of the sunscreen.
Okay.
And do not reapply repellent too often.
Got it.
So that's the idea. And remember then for children, repellent is potentially more toxic
Yes.
than for adult people. So
Sure.
better to protect children with some clothes.
Absolutely.
It's the best choice.
Okay. That's very realistic, I would assume.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have a good
It's-
habit.
And also behaviorally,
Yeah.
what we can do, some things to avoid as well.
Yeah.
And alcohol, as you say.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yes, alcohol
The mimosas
makes
during
you
brunch
more
might be giving me a sunburn.
right. And actually, it's making you more sensitive to the ultraviolet, especially during the daytime.
Goodness.
So please,
Yes.
alcohol-free lunch. If you care about your skin, it's the best option.
Absolutely.
And less of sugar. Sugar leads to glycation. Glycation leads to skin damage.
Absolutely.
So desserts and wine, they are for
Desserts,
dinners.
wine, my family, the barbecues, enough
Yeah.
of the pork and the barbecue sauce with honey, please.
Exactly. And actually to be exposed to the smoke
Oh,
during the
even
sunny
worse.
days, it's air pollution. And air pollution double
Yes.
the ultraviolet damage of the skin. So be careful.
Yes.
And another thing to avoid, unexpectedly, some food can be photosensitizing as well.
Okay. Yes, this makes complete sense.
Grapefruit juice,
Yep. I was just thinking all my citrus fruits, especially you drink those in the morning.
orange juice in the morning is good.
Yes.
It helps you to improve the sun protection.
Yes.
Grapefruit juice will decrease your sun protection.
That is hilarious. Do you know I
Yeah.
choose grapefruit juice always over orange juice?
Grapefruit juice, it's a great winter morning juice, but not the summer morning juice.
Okay.
But also there's some medication which
Yes.
are photosensitizing.
Yes,
And
yes.
once again, unfortunately, they are very popular medication amongst the photosensitizing
Yeah.
products such as antidepressants.
Yes.
Almost all of them.
Yes.
Contraceptives
Yes.
and painkillers
Yes.
such as ibuprofen and paracetamol. Both of them, they are photosensitizing. So if you're taking ibuprofen or paracetamol
Yeah.
a few times a week for
Yeah,
some reasons, if
exactly.
you are on the antidepressant and contraceptives,
Yeah.
you should see your skin as the skin of the first phototype,
Okay.
despite your skin color.
Okay.
Same for people with rosacea. You should remember that you are very sensitive
Very
to the
sensitive.
ultraviolet, so you should
Absolutely.
use the maximum
Yes.
skin protection.
And I love the way that if we speak about, I think where we're going in life now is all about not natural in the sense that we care so much about organic, but we care so much about protecting the natural functions and natural way that life moves and goes. So if you think that this is how you are, if this is how you function in life, you need antidepressants, or you take ibuprofen for, say, I was an athlete, I had to take ibuprofen a lot when I was running track, then know that this is moderation in your life and that you have to limit yourself to your sun exposure and you have to protect your natural functions so that you can actually function, feel your healthiest. Like, I'm sure that plays a lot into it. Yes, sure, going out into the sun, it can boost the endorphins of one person, but another person who's getting the opposite impact because of the way their bodies are naturally functioning, not all shoes fit one person.
Actually, that's a very small amount of population who experiences the sun depression.
Yeah.
So it can work paradoxically, just in very few people.
Sure.
But also you can improve your sun protection naturally, and in a natural way. For example, regular physical activity.
Yes, okay.
Physical activity during the morning hours, even if you have 30 minutes a day,
okay,
like nice run or even walk or some yoga or any kind of physical activity, it helps to restore your sun protection in the skin because it increases your antioxidant level and it increases your oxytocin level in the body. And oxytocin, it is love hormone and protective hormone.
Listen, you might actually love getting to the office after that workout.
Yes, we cannot bottle the love. We can produce more of oxytocin to feel more love for our skin, for our body.
Yes.
Another thing, that's the food. Yeah. Food habits can be very important. And during the summertime, you should eat more antioxidant-rich diet.
Absolutely.
And actually, it's very delicious.
Yes,
so
I love
we have
my
a lot of
berries. I love my fermented foods. I think I would imagine this is obvious because we say sleep impacts everything, but I can only imagine your sleep habits will impact the way that your skin is protected during the sun.
Oh, thank you so much for mentioning sleep. Almost forgot about it, and it is a
When's the
crucial
last time
part.
you slept? No, I'm sure.
Actually, traveling through all these time zones doesn't help because the skin protection from the ultraviolet is purely circadian.
Yeah.
So you should sleep well.
Yeah.
Your skin will be twice less protected against the ultraviolet after the sleepless night. So the worst idea ever is to sleep on the beach after the party.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, another bad news.
Oh,
I know, young people. I know how you love it, and you should not.
Because sometimes if you think of it, that's the only time a person gives themselves to go enjoy the sun. They're like, go during the day or doing whatever. And then it's, let me go lay out and rest in the sun. No wonder you wake up and you feel so drained.
Yeah, absolutely. Because first of all, to sleep exposed to the sun, it's a very bad idea because your brain reacts differently. We have special sensors for the ultraviolet and for the sun rays. Even when our eyes are closed, our skin has eyes. And it's really contradict the whole regeneration of the skin.
Wow.
So you should sleep at night.
Okay.
You should get the proper night sleep. And if you didn't have an opportunity to sleep at night, please be very careful about the sun exposure. Yeah. And it's better to stay in the shadow. It's better to not expose yourself to the ultraviolet because even the small amount of ultraviolet can damage your skin dramatically after the sleepless night.
So you mean those people that like wake up from a long night and put a black hoodie on and their black sunglasses, they have it right. They've got it figured out. Avoid the sun.
Yes, yes. More or less, that's it. So the good sleep, the healthy food, rich in antioxidant, the protective skincare routine, rich in antioxidant as well, and the sunscreen primer, plus sunscreen picked up situationally for different situations. Because if you are very active, you are athlete, going for run, going for swim, you need water-resistant, waterproof sunscreen.
Absolutely.
If you are going to enjoy some walk in the city, you need another kind of sunscreen, which can be more nutritious for your skin.
Absolutely.
And differently protecting your skin. And also, obviously, it should be situational based on your skin needs.
Yes.
For people suffering from rosacea, from acne, the golden rule, it is oil-free formulations.
Yeah, lightweight.
Absolutely. For people with dry skin, people with mature skin, that's a great choice of hydrating sunscreens enriched with a hyaluronic acid, even microencapsulated, so it can work much better.
Sure.
So that's no one-fits-all sunscreen.
Yes.
No one-fits-all rule.
Yes.
You should know yourself. You should personalize your sun protection.
And I think that's why there are these conversations around, no, you shouldn't, or you should do that. It's because we're not personalizing it. Earlier when you spoke, it sounds be very intentional with your time in the sun, be intentional with your routine prior to exposing yourself to the sun. It sounds like we're returning back to intention of what we're doing here.
Yeah, we should be mindful.
Yes.
About our life.
Yes.
And about every part of the life, including the skin protection. So love your skin, respect your skin, and you can find a way to be better protected by yourself. Thank you for joining us today on the Medder Beauty podcast. If you found this helpful, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an expert skincare tip. Have a question or topic you'd like for me to cover? Send me a message at podcast@medderbeauty.com and let's keep the conversation going. Also, you can visit medderbeauty.com and discover Medder Skincare, which I created. And if you enjoyed the show, I'd love if you left a review. It helps others find the podcast and keeps us growing. Until next time, stay healthy, stay glowing, and take care of your skin.